Hi,
Hi.
welcome to Storytime. Here we are, right, Madeline?
Yep.
We are here for Storytime, the Wednesday edition for the Island Free Library.
Wow, that's really amazing. We're doing it on Wednesday.
Yes.
On Wednesday. I didn't even notice it was Wednesday until just now. But a week
um, beginning on, I didn't want to forget the end. Beginning on Saturday, during our open hours, which are 11 to 2, I will be open. I will be in the kids' room. The window will be open, so kids can come up to the children's garden area and ask for books, and I can get them for them if they wish. Just throwing that out there.
if you ever have a book that you know that's at the library and then you want to get one, then that's your chance.
Well, I'll be there subsequent days when we're open, but now that Block Island School is finishing up this week, I'll be at the library more, and I'll still be doing my virtual programming. I just wanted to
Oh, I want to tell you something.
throw that out there.
I don't know, but my brother, my cousin, and my aunt are starting a food truck soon. I don't know the date yet, but they're going to have some good stuff there.
Okay.
My brother's going to be working for once.
Okay. Ready? We're going to stand up. Okay?
It's not really important to story time, but
But you want to share it. That's fine. We're going to share things that were. Yes. Good. Okay. Here we go, friends. Hands go up and hands go down. I can turn myself around. I can stand up on one shoe or foot or sock. I can listen, so can you. I can sit, I'll show you how. Story time is starting now. Okay. Good.
We say hello like this. We say hello like this.
Oh, that's Thursday's song. Remember, they're different. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? It's good to see Madeline here. It's good to see Madeline here. It's good to see Madeline here. How are you today?
Good.
Good. It's good to see all of you today. It's good to see all of you today. It's good to see all of you today. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I know it's
really
silly to
hard.
ask a question that you can't answer. But I hope you're doing well, and I just wanted to say that it's nice to see you. Well, it's nice to know you're out there in the world, I should say, because I cannot see you. Madeline cannot see you. We are staring at ourselves on the computer screen. Yes. So our story time today is per Miss Madeline Walsh's request, a fish-themed story time.
And tomorrow is too.
No.
No, the next day.
Tomorrow's dragons.
I know.
Yeah.
It's also my request.
Oh, I thought you meant it was another fish story time. That's all. Yes. This week.
Because I wrote a book that we're going to share.
Yes, we will share the book that she just wrote and illustrated tomorrow. But today we are doing fish.
Yes.
Okay?
I have a fish that's already made for a craft.
I have some books to share with you, and we'll get started with the first one. This one is called Jangles, A Big Fish Story by David Shannon. Okay.
Bye. I'll be back after the story.
You want to tell everyone that you caught a fish the other night?
We caught a fish and then we ate it last night. But they stayed out till like 10 o'clock catching it. But they caught a few fish and then they only kept one because the rest weren't as too big. But I hope we go fishing again sometime soon.
Okay, ready?
Bye. See you after the story.
By David Shannon is published by Blue Sky Press, which is part of Scholastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When the sun goes down and the weather's just right, Big Lake gets smooth as glass and the thin mist whispers across it. That's when you might catch a glimpse of Jangles. My father told me lots of stories. Hold on, there we go. My favorite was about a giant trout he saw when he was a kid. I still remember sitting with him in front of the big stone fireplace at the cabin. He pulled out a dirty green tackle box and shook it a couple times so it rattled. Then he told me this story. When I was a kid, Jangles was the biggest fish anyone had ever seen or heard. That's right, you could hear Jangles. He'd broken so many fishing lines that his huge, crooked jaw was covered with shiny metal lures and rusty old fish hooks of all shapes and sizes. They clinked and clattered as he swam. That's why he was called Jangles. Jangles was so big, he ate eagles from the trees that hung out over the lake and full-grown beavers that strayed too far from home. But he didn't seem to care much for the taste of kids. In fact, people swear one time Jangles saved a baby who fell into the lake when his family's canoe tipped over. They say he took that baby up so gently that none of the hooks even stuck it, and he swam it to shore. Supposedly, he gave the baby's mama a dirty look as if to say, "What are you doing bringing your precious little baby out here in a tippy old canoe?" Everyone wanted to catch Jangles. They held big tournaments with lots of prize money, but no one could bring him in. He was too smart and too strong, and he lived too deep down in the middle of the lake. They tried all sorts of tricks, like using whole turkeys for bait.
Why are they not alive?
No. One fellow even tried dynamite. He threw big cans of tuna fish in the water and waited till he heard Jangles coming. Then he lit a stick of dynamite and tossed it in the lake. I don't know if it hit a rock or something, but that dynamite came flying back out of the water and into his boat and blew it to smithereens. Then he had to swim all the way back to his dock. He said Jangles came up and bumped him on his butt, but nobody believed him.
Well, that he actually did.
Mhm. One time when I was just about your age, I was fishing over where the creek comes into the lake and my anchor came loose. I was concentrating so hard on catching a fish that I didn't notice I was drifting way out into the middle of the lake. There wasn't another soul out there and it was getting dark. Just when I realized where I was, I felt a tug on my line. Not a real big tug, something was on the other end. I started to reel it in. It was wiggling all right, but it didn't really feel like a fish. I finally got it in, and what do you know? I'd snagged an old fishing rod that somebody must have dropped out of a boat a long time ago. I started to reel in that one too. I cranked and I finally felt the end of it getting closer to the surface. Then I heard a sound that made my whole body feel all prickly. It was kind of soft at first. Tinkle, tinkle, dingle. But then it started getting louder. Tingle, jingle, jangle. Now I used to daydream all the time about catching jangles. But right then I was scared to death. Just when I saw the lure on the end of the line, a gigantic shadow came out of the deep darkness and swallowed it up. My rod bent nearly in half. I was hanging on to it like it was my first dollar when Jangle suddenly swam under the boat and pulled me right over the side and into the cold black lake. Down we went like a crazy horse and buggy. Soon I noticed I could still breathe, and the water wasn't cold anymore. Finally, we came to a cave in the deepest part of the lake. It was decorated with parts of old boats and lots of rods and reels. "This is my home," said Jangles. "It's been a long time since I had a visitor." His voice was so low and soothing it seemed perfectly natural that this fish was talking, so I wasn't afraid at all.
Unless you want to fish a fish.
And Jangles told me stories, amazing, wonderful stories about the beginning of the earth before there were people, and stories about wise old redwood trees and animals who were silly, and the great fish that lived before him in Big Lake. It was like Jangles was my magic uncle. After a while, I started to get sleepy, and he said, "Time to go." He told me to hang on to the big fin on his back. I still had the old rod in my hand, and as we swam up and the water turned from black to purple, I slowly pulled out some line and made a bunch of long loops. When we reached the surface, Jangles swam alongside my boat. Quick as a minnow, I hopped off the fish's giant back and threw the coils of line around him. Then, with a sharp yank, I spun him upside down. Now, you might not know this, but when you turn a fish upside down, even a big old smart fish like Jangles, it gets confused and can't hardly move, like it's paralyzed. Gotcha, I shouted. Jangles just lay there, but he could still talk. You tricked me, he cried. I told you secrets from the beginning of time, and this is how you thank me? You're a fish, I said, and I have caught you. Set me free, Jangles urged. I am more than a fish. I am a storyteller and a story. A story no one will believe if I let you go, I replied. Then Jangles asked me, is that more important than doing what is right?
Wow.
I thought of all the wondrous things I'd heard that day. Then I thought about people dragging whole turkeys around the lake. You're right, I said. I'm sorry. I will set you free, but what can I do to apologize? I swear Jangles grinned at me with that big, crooked, jingly jaw of his. There is one thing you can do to help me, he said, and it would also prove you caught old Jangles. That's when my dad stopped telling his story and gave me his tackle box. It was full to the top with shiny metal lures and rusty old fish hooks of all shapes and sizes. He never told anyone about catching the giant fish. He kept it a secret until that night when he told me. Now, I'm telling you.
Wow. What if Jingles was real? There would be talking fish that I'd be trying to catch. But I could probably not reel it in time.
You think?
No. Probably my dad couldn't either. Maybe someone who's really good at reeling in. So like one that's really like a slippery one that could reel in really fast, then probably my dad could catch it.
Okay.
And then he'd just be laying by the shore. And we'd probably eat him.
Okay, we're going to do a little finger play first, then we'll get up and move for a minute, and then we'll read our next story. Okay? Okay. So, you need your hands for this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I threw it back again. Why did I let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? This little finger on my right. Let's do it one more time. Madeline, can you do it with me? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I threw it back again. Why did I let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? This little one on the right. Okay, we're going to stand up for a minute. Ready? Okay. Ooh, just get some wiggles out. This is the way I touch my nose, pretend to touch my nose. This is the way I pretend to touch my nose when I'm at story time. This is the way I jump up and down, jump up and down, jump up and down. This is the way I jump up and down when I'm at story time. This is the way I spin around, spin around, spin around. This is the way I spin around when I'm at story time. Good. This is the way I hop in the air, hop in the air, hop in the air. This is the way I hop in the air when I'm at story time. You okay?
My foot.
How'd you hurt your foot?
It twisted like that.
This is the way I stretch up high, stretch up high, stretch up high. This is the way I stretch up high when I'm at story time. This is the way I bend to the floor, bend to the floor, bend to the floor. This is the way I bend to the floor when I'm at story time. This is the way I balance on one foot, balance on one foot, balance on one foot. This is the way I balance on one foot when I'm at story time. Good. Can you make a fish with your hands? Have you ever seen a fishy, a fishy, a fishy? Have you ever seen a fishy go this way and that? Go this way and that way, this way and that way. Have you ever seen a fishy go this way and that? One more time. Have you ever seen a fishy go this way and that? Oh, have you ever seen a fishy, a fishy, a fishy? Have you ever seen a fishy go this way and that? Go this way and that way and this way and that way. Have you ever seen a fishy go this way and that? Yeah. There's other versions of it. Okay, here's our next story. It is Papa's Mechanical Fish, written by Candace Fleming, pictures by Boris Kulikov, published by Margaret Ferguson Books. Okay, Papa's Mechanical Fish. Ready? Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is my Papa, and this is his backyard workshop where he spends his days thinking, tinkering, and inventing things. Hear that? Clink, clickety bang, thump, whir. That's the sound of Papa at work. Clink, clickety bang, thump, whir. Sometimes Papa tries inventing helpful things like collapsible coat hangers that are easy to store. Sometimes he tries inventing unusual things like edible socks. And sometimes he tries inventing playful things that only just don't work, like steam-powered roller skates. He forgot to put the brakes on. But not once has Papa invented anything that works perfectly. I will someday, Papa tells me. All I need is a fantastic idea. But fantastic ideas are not easy to come by. So Papa twiddles his tools and pulls his hair. He racks his brains, sighs, and stares until one day he throws down his screwdriver. Enough thinking, he cries. Who wants to go fishing? I do, I holler. Me too, says my brother Cyril. Don't forget me, adds our sister Mary. My dada, squeals the baby Wilhelmina. Woof, barks our bulldog Rex. I'm so glad I brought along these poles, says Mama. We all troop out to the lighthouse pier and drop our lines into Lake Michigan. Plop, plop, plop. Papa, I say as we wait for a bite, have you ever wondered what it's like to be a fish? A fish, he mutters. A fish? Uh-oh, squeals the baby. Papa's pole clatters to the pier. He leaps to his feet. He whirls me around. Irina, you're brilliant, he whoops. And he is gone, racing back over the sand dunes to his workshop. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir. Ta-da! Cries Papa a few weeks later. He opens his workshop door to reveal. What is it? I ask. It's an underwater vessel, he explains. A mechanical fish. I will dive like a salmon. I will glide like a trout. Papa's mechanical fish is so small, he barely fits inside. It has a tube sticking out the top so he can breathe. It has a pole sticking out the bottom so he can push himself along the lake floor. I call it the whitefish, he says. But will it work? We keep our fingers crossed. Goodbye, Papa. We wave. Farewell, family. He waves back. And the whitefish is launched. Sploosh! But
Ooh, what's gonna
glub, glub, glub. Papa swims back to the pier. It almost worked, he said. Almost, I agree. I think for a moment. How do fish move through the water? With their tails, says Cyril. With their fins, adds Mary. Fishy, go, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. So glad I brought along this towel, says Mama. She wraps it around Papa's shoulders, but he is too deep and hot to notice. And it is big enough for people. Oh, quick, clink, clankety bang, thump, whir. Behold the whitefish too. It is big enough for two people to sit in. It has a wooden fin on top and a wooden propeller in back. Papa pedals it like a bicycle to make it go. Goodbye, Papa, we wave. Farewell, family, he waves back. And the whitefish too is launched. Sploosh! It dives below the surface. Swoosh! But crack, drip, splinter, rip, Papa bobs to the surface. It almost worked, he hollers to us. Almost, I holler back. Think again, then ask Papa, how do fish stay dry? With special skin, asks Cyril. With scales, adds Mary. No pee-pee, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. So glad I brought along this life preserver, says Mama. She tosses it to Papa. But he is too deep in thought to notice. And clink, clankety, bang, thump, whir! Behold the whitefish 3! It is big enough for 3 people to sit in. It has a plunger to make it go up and down. It has a steering wheel to make it go left and right. It has levers instead of pedals, and is covered in waterproof copper. Goodbye, Papa, we wave. Farewell, family, he waves back. Then the whitefish 3 is launched. Sploosh! It dives. Swoosh! It chugs beneath the waters. Clack, 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 clack. But crump! Papa clings to a buoy. It almost worked, he says minutes later as we pull him into the rowboat. Almost, I say. I think some more, then ask Papa, how do fish know where they're going? Can they see underwater, says Cyril. Do they have good eyes, asks Mary. Peekaboo, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. So glad I brought along these oars, says Mama. She rows toward shore. But Papa is too deep in thought to notice. Now he barricades himself in his workshop. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir! He does not come out. Thunk, clunk, whack! We cannot go in. Tap, tap! He even covers the windows so we can't peek. Zap! What's the big secret, I ask. Wait and see, Papa says. Just wait and see. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir! At last he flings wide the workshop doors. Surprise! Ooh, we gasp. Ah. The Whitefish 4 is big enough for 7 people to sit in. It has an air cooling system, air compression system, and an air purifying system. It has a steam boiler to run the engine and a battery to run the headlights. It has velvet carpeting and comfortable chairs. Along its length are a dozen portholes. Papa grins. Who wants to go for a ride? I do, I whoop. Me too, says Cyril. Don't forget me, asks Mary. Oh, bye-bye, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. So glad I brought along lunch, says Mama.
Finally, he notices.
One by one, we drop down the hatch. Papa seals it behind us, takes his place at the controls, and sploosh, swoosh, clackada, clackada, clackada. Wow! Hours later, we rise to the surface. We glide to the beach. We spread out a blanket and feast on ham sandwiches. Papa, I say between mouthfuls, that idea was absolutely, positively fantastic. Brilliant, says Cyril. Clever, adds Mary. Yeah, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. So glad you brought me along, says Mama. She gives Papa a big, big smooch. Then a seagull flies overhead. I toss it my bread crust. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a bird, I ask? A bird, Papa mutters. A bird. Uh-oh, squeals the baby.
Oh,
Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir.
oh, that was a good one.
Was. Okay. Need 5 fingers, okay? Instead of 5 little monkeys, we're gonna do 5 little fishies, okay? 5 little fishies swimming in the sea, teasing Mr. Shark. You can't catch me. Oh, here comes Mr. Shark. Along comes Mr. Shark, quiet as can be, and snatches that fish right out of the sea. 4 little fishies swimming in the sea, teasing Mr. Shark. You can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Shark, quiet as can be, and snatches that fish right out of the sea. 3 little fishies swimming in the sea, Teasing Mr. Shark, you can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Shark, as quiet as can be, and snatches that fish right out of the sea. Two little fishies swimming in the sea. Teasing Mr. Shark, you can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Shark, quiet as can be, and snatches that fish right out of the sea. One little fish swimming in the sea, teasing Mr. Shark, you can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Shark, quiet as can be, and snatches that fish right out of the sea. Okay, you go like this. This is gonna be our ocean, our sea. Okay.
Especially since we're on Rock Island, but
Here is the sea, the wavy sea. Oh, can you make a boat? Here's the boat. Oh, and here's me. Oh, can you make little fishies? Oh, you could even do it with your fingers if you want a lot. Oh, the little fishies down below. Wiggle their tails and away they go. Here is the sea, the wavy sea. Here is the boat. And here's me. All the little fishies down below wriggle their tails and away they go. Okay, we're going to stand up. You doing a fish face? I wake up my hands with a clap, 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 clap. I wake up my hands with a clap, 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 and wiggle my waggles away. I wake up my feet with a stomp, 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 stomp. I wake up my feet with a stomp, 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 and wiggle my waggles away. I wake up my head with a nod, 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 nod. I wake up my head with a nod, 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 and wiggle my waggles away. I wake up my hips with a shake, 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 shake. I wake up my hips with a shake, 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 and wiggle my waggles away. I wake up my belly with a beep, 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 beep. I wake up my belly with a beep, 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 and wiggle my waggles away. Good. All right, say we have one more story for you. It is called How to Catch a Fish. Written by John Frank, illustrated by Peter Silvata, published by Roaring Book Press. Okay. How to catch a fish. This is how to catch a fish. Within the early hours of day, we launch our small boat from the beach and spread our net out on the bay. Then shortly after, drag it back upon the shore and sort the catch. Anchovy, tuna, kingfish, jack. And if we're lucky, there'll be lots to fill the village supper pots. This is seine fishing in Turtle Bay, Tobago. Tobago. Can't remember which one it is. Past jagged rocks and chunks of boulders, banks of stone that tame the tide, along the mighty river's shoulders, just before it joins the sea, we troll our bait for silver salmon. They fight the current's motion, swimming upstream from the ocean, tugged by instinct miles and miles to spawn where they themselves were born. It's angling for coho on the Columbia River in Washington. With bits of feather, yarn, and thread, we fashion insects small and light that look so real it seems as if they'll set their tiny wings a-whirl, and in the morning haze take flight. In rubber boots that reach our thighs, we wade out in the coursing stream, and with quick wrist flicks of our rods, we cast in shimmering arcs, the flies which, Once our lengths of line play out, just scarcely graze the water's face, enough to tease the hungry trout. This is fly fishing in the Gap of Dunlow in Ireland. I love the illustrations in this book. And I like that they're all around the world. We chap a hole in the Arctic ice and crouched in layers of skins and fur to shun the frigid weather. Brr! We bait our hooks and lower our lines and jig them up and down to stir the fish below. But if they're near, we'll sometimes use a well-aimed spear. It's ice fishing on Baffin Island in Nunavut. Around the neck of a cormorant we've clamped a ring, a metal collar, and to this we tie a leash. In our flat-bottomed boat at night we paddle up the river where our metal basket's flickering fire, its bright hypnotic dancing light, draws sweet fish near, and as they follow, overboard the leashed bird dives to seize its prey, which we then take. Big fish the ringed throat cannot swallow. This is cormorant fishing in the Nagara River in Japan. Standing at the ocean beach on wet sand hemmed by hissing foam, we scan the surf to spot the breach between the waves before they break. The cleft of sea where game fish roam, to there we'll cast our rigs from shore, our hooks and baits above the weights that quickly to the bottom sink. Our gold spoon lures that flash and wink and catch some fish to carry home. Surf casting in Montauk Point, New York. We hide among the reeds that by the river bank so thickly grow, or float on water shallow, slow. In log boats crafted long and narrow, waiting with a watching eye to take the fish with bow and arrow. This is logboat fishing on the Okavango River in Namibia. In snorkeling mask and fins and armed to fire a spear or sharp harpoon, we hunt along the reef below the surface of the green lagoon. For barracuda, dog-toothed tuna, challenged by our lungs to dive as deep as one held breath will bear before we must come up for air. This is spearfishing in New Caledonia in the Southwest Pacific. We strip the bark from limbs of fir and make them into poles as tall as 3 men head to toe combined, and lash them a white oak hoop, a supple branch shaped over fire, and netting from wild iris twined. Our dip nets now complete, we climb the rocks between the steep cliff walls and swing the long poles through the roar of rapids carving canyon floor. Catch the fish that scale the falls. This is dip netting in Ishipishi Falls, California. Propelled by currents swift and strong, our fish wheel rotates round and round, its soft metallic hollow sound as rhythmic as a beaten drum. 3 giant baskets scooping up the sockeye, steelhead, coho, chum, and dropping them inside a pen, then circling back for more again. This is fish wheel in Fraser Canyon, British Columbia. Through rags of morning mist we set out on a lake as smooth as glass. A few stone skips beyond the shore we cast our spinnerbaits in grass that grows among the shallows, and we let them sink, then reel them in, with slow and steady turns as patient as a watch's second hand, to lure the lurking largemouth bass. Angling for bass, Chattahoochee National Forest, Georgia. We strap on sturdy harnesses and brace ourselves in bolted chairs to angle for a fish whose size can dwarf gigantic grizzly bears. Blue marlin. One once caught by hook weighed nearly 1,800 pounds. Though some would say because it took more than one man to reel it in, it shouldn't grace the record book. It's every deep-sea angler's wish, a battle packages of fish, a leaping, thrashing tug-of-war that strains to snap your rod in two, to drag your line until it melts, a fight for all you've got and more. And when we haul one from the sea, we sound our loud, triumphant cheers, engage its length and girth and weight, then set the wondrous creature free. This is deep-sea fishing in Kona, Hawaii. As sunrise tints the eastern sky, the 2 of us walk down the pier with fishing poles, one short, one tall, and tackle boxes big and small. Above the ocean, way up high, we find our spot along the rails. I hope I'll be the very first to get a nibble and a bite. To reel in from the sea, to to beam with pride as passers-by who peer in all the angler's pails, admire the first fish of the day, light glinting off its shiny scales. This is pier fishing in the Gulf Coast of northwest Florida. We slack our reels to free some line, and as I mull which rig to tie, a knowing wink escapes his eye. I make my choice of hook and weight. We fasten them, we set our bait, then raise our rods, set loose our lines above the ocean way up high. The two of us, my dad and I. And that is how to catch a fish. Okay, you gonna do Tickle the Stars with me, Madeline?
I'm ready.
Ready? Tickle the stars. Tickle your toes. Turn around and pretend to tickle your nose. Reach down low. Reach way up high. Story time is over, so wave goodbye. Okay, we're going to quickly show you our craft. It's Madeline's conception. You want to make a fish out of paper plate. So, Madeline, can you show everyone what you did?
I did this.
How did you do that?
So I took a big paper plate and made it into a fish shape. I took two mini paper plates, made one lips, and then I just colored it all red. I got some red on my hand from that. And then the other paper plate, you make into a tail. You don't want it to be too big compared to this. I made the eyes and everything. I made it rainbow scales because I just wanted to. You can make any scales. And you just do a pattern on the tail. Easy peasy.
And here's another idea. If you have a paper plate and you want to make a fish.
This is going to be an action.
Okay. So I just had a paper plate and I cut out a triangle. Okay. I'm not quite as creative as Madeline. So I cut out a triangle. This is my fish's mouth. This is my fish's tail. Okay. I'm going to glue it on and then I'm going to decorate my fish. So there's another option. But it's not as fancy as Madeline's fish that she made. But there's a fun way to use a paper plate if you have one at home.
There are other ways too, but these is just the ways we're using for this.
Yes, so you have your two options if you want to try it out.
If you want to see them in action, if you wanted to see what this one would look like, this one I just tried to go quickly on, but I just did stuff that I thought would look good. Now she's making it right now with the glue.
I'm just going to glue it on. Glue my tail on.
I chose the purple glue from another video.
Yeah, so we're going to have to let that dry and then I'll have Madeline decorate it up. Okay, there's my fish. And I know we're running long today, so thanks for hanging with us. Hope you enjoyed our fish story time. Tomorrow is dragon themed story time with a very special surprise of Madeline reading her own book that she wrote and illustrated it. So she's excited to share it with you. I'm excited for her to share it with you. Now I have glue all over me. It's okay. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow. Bye.